Welcome back to Memory Lane Media, where the stories we tell aren't just about the past, but about the character, compassion, and quiet moments that define us. Today's story is true. It happened on a warm August day in 1982, right in the heart of Boston, and it had nothing to do with winning or losing. It had everything to do with what one man chose to do when it mattered most. It was a typical afternoon at Fenway Park, the kind of day where you smelled hot dogs in the breeze, kids waved team flags, and fans scribbled on scorecards with worn-down pencils. The Red Sox were playing, and Jim Rice, already a local hero, was in the dugout. Nobody expected anything out of the ordinary. Then, in a heartbeat, everything changed. A batter sent a foul ball screaming into the stands. The sharp crack of the bat cut through the buzz of the crowd. It struck a 4-year-old boy square in the head. There was no time to react. The child collapsed, and the joy of the game turned to stunned silence. People stood, frozen. His family didn't move. Security hesitated, and for one long second, it seemed no one knew what to do. But Jim Rice did. Without a word, he bolted from the dugout and into the stands. He didn't wait for medics. He didn't wave anyone over. He ran straight to the boy, picked him up in his arms, and sprinted back to the dugout like the child was his own. There was no hesitation in him, only purpose. The boy was bleeding, limp, and unconscious. But in Rice's arms, there was urgency and hope. He reached the dugout where team doctors were already on their way. Emergency crews arrived moments later. Every second saved mattered, and Jim Rice gave them those seconds. The boy survived, not because of luck, but because of timing, because of instinct, because a man who had nothing to gain acted anyway. And the story didn't end there. Jim Rice went to the hospital later that day. No cameras followed. No reporters knew. He didn't come for praise. He came to make sure the boy was okay. That's when he found out the family had little money and no way to cover the hospital bills. So Rice took care of it. Quietly, completely. No headlines, no announcements, just grace. Then he went back to the field. Still in his blood-stained uniform. Still Jim Rice, but maybe something more. He didn't tell this story. He never bragged. In fact, most fans didn't even know it happened. But for those who did, for those who saw a baseball legend become something even greater, it became the most important moment of his career. Baseball celebrates stats and glory, but this moment wasn't about batting averages. It was about compassion, about being human in a place built for heroes. And for that young boy and his family, Jim Rice didn't just save a life. He left a legacy. Not in the record books, not in highlight reels, but in a heartbeat that almost stopped, and the man who refused to let it. Thank you for joining us. If this story touched you, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share it with someone who remembers what sports and life are truly about. Until next time, this is Memory Lane Media, where the past lives on.